Good day! In this video, we're going to talk about credit cards for beginners. Because most of these phrases are not a daily English use, it is quite simple to mistake them. Terms such as PR are extremely essential phrases that need to be understood before the credit card company begins charging you interest. You don't want to wake up one day and realize the 10% APR on your credit card debt is not exactly the simple interest you thought it was. One does not need to have a complete grasp of these phrases, but basic information is vital. Below are some of the most crucial credit card terminology that you need to know. Number 1. Credit limit. This is the available credit on your card. For example, if your account states your credit limit is $1,000, then it implies you can only spend up to $1,000. If, for whatever reason, you wind up surpassing this limit, you will be charged some costs. Number 2. Available credit. Available credit is the amount that is available for you to spend. It is based on the credit limit less the current balance less any outstanding transactions. Number 3. APR or annual percentage rate. The annual percentage rate is the rate of interest you will pay if you did not clear your balance. In other words, if you clear your balance every month, you will only pay interest on the period in question. In fact, there are credit cards that offer 0% if you pay off your debt before the end of the billing cycle. If, on the other hand, your card is not in this category, you will be charged interest during the time that the amount has been outstanding. Number 4. Fees. This is the price that credit card issuers charge on an annual basis for premium cards. Premium cards are credit cards that provide certain extra perks above standard credit cards, such as airline cards. Number 5. Authorized person. A credit card authorized user is a person who has been granted authority to use a credit card by the primary card holder. The approved person is allowed to use the card in their name to make whatever purchases he desires, just as if it were his own. The authorized user, on the other hand, is not liable for repaying the sum. The primary card holder is still responsible for this obligation. Number 6. Credit cards for transferring balances. This is when you get a new credit card and transfer balances from an existing credit card or cards to a new card. This is often done in order to take advantage of cheaper interest rates on the new credit card. In certain situations, you may be eligible for a zero interest rate on your new credit card for a period of time. This way, you avoid paying the interest that you would have incurred if you had continued to use your old credit cards. The balance transfer, on the other hand, is dependent on the available credit limit on the new card. I recommend that anyone who is having difficulty paying their credit card debt consider this option as a means of getting out of debt in the long run. Number 7. Grace period. Many card companies provide a grace period for making your monthly payments. The grace period is the period of time during which you can clear your balance each month without incurring some finance charges, such as interest. If you do not clear your balance within this period, your balance will be subject to the finance charges that have been agreed upon. In some countries, the grace period is the legal requirement. 8. Card security. The major of the time. They are credit cards for individuals who have bad credit and wish to better their situation. This card should be kept safe. Number 9. Interest rates that fluctuate. In finance, variable interest rates are interest rates that fluctuate in response to changes in a benchmark rate, such as the prime rate. For example, if your credit card states that your interest will be prime rate plus 5% and your bank prime rate is currently 10%, your variable interest rate will be 15%. i.e. prime interest rate 10% plus 5%. Each bank has its own prime rate, but others will use the Federal Reserve rate, which is the divisor. Credit cards will either utilize a fixed rate or interest or a variable rate of interest, depending on the situation. The interest rate on most credit cards is often greater than the rate on the previous card. Number 10. The best possible rate. The prime rate, also known as the prime lending rate, is the interest rate at which banks lend to their most creditworthy clients, primarily corporate customers. The prime rate is often used as the foundation for determining the variable interest rate that banks charge for other customers. For example, the bank may impose an annual percentage rate, or APR, equal to the prime rate plus 5% of the amount borrowed. If the prime rate is 10% at a certain point in time, the annual percentage rate, or APR, is 15% at that point. 10% plus an additional 5% is the prime rate. According to the prime rate, this rate will neither go down or higher. For example, if the prime rate drops to 7%, the annual percentage rate, or APR, would be 12%, 97% plus 5%. Number 11. Credit that is available on a revolving basis. In this instance, the customer has the option to pay all or part of the outstanding debt using a credit card. Your duty is to make sure that you stay within the credit limit and, in the case of credit cards, to pay at least the minimum amount necessary. The majority of business have this kind of credit, which allows them to make payments as long as they stay below a certain limit. Number 12. Dispute. When a credit card holder rejects a transaction on his or her credit card statement, this is known as a chargeback. Customers who have received an incorrect credit card statement have 60 days to file a complaint with the credit card company. Following receipt of the complaint by the credit card issuer, the issuer is expected to confirm receipt of the complaint within 30 days, and they are then obligated to remedy the mistake or explain why they believe the statement is accurate no later than 90 days following receipt of the complaint. If they fail to do so, the cardholder has the right to file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. In addition, the card issuer is prohibited by law from collecting a charge on the disputed amount while they are conducting their investigation. Number 13. The bottom line. Monthly earnings less cost equal the amount at the bottom of your monthly earnings statement. Number 14. People have been denied credit. This refers to a scenario in which an individual or company has a low credit score as a consequence of prior bad debt management. Defaults, among other things, might be included in this bad management object. All of this credit card payment information will be included on the credit card holder's credit report as well. Number 15. Obtaining a cash advice. Using your credit card to withdraw cash from an ATM is also known as credit card withdrawal. Because you are using a credit card and will be required to pay interest on the amount borrowed, this is not a sensible idea unless you are in a desperate need of money right now. Number 16. Chip and PIN are two words that come to mind. This is the 4-digit number that is provided to you in order to enable you to spend money on your credit card. In the United States, the use of a 4-digit PIN to validate a purchase is new, as was the use of signatures to authenticate transactions before. In Europe, on the other hand, chip and PIN authentication have been in use for quite some time. Number 17. Default. Default on a credit card occurs when you have failed to comply with the terms and conditions of your credit card, which may involve, among other things, failing to make your repayments on time or exceeding the credit limit on your card. The issuer may charge you a default fee or, in the most extreme situations, may take you to court to compel you to make a repayment. Number 18. Foreign transaction cost or foreign purchase. Fees are charged when a transaction takes place outside of the country. This is the price that most credit cards charge for using your credit card while traveling outside the country. The fee is typically 3% for each transaction performed outside the country. Number 19. The bare minimum in monthly payments. This is the amount that you must pay to your credit card company each month in order to prevent late penalties and charge from occurring. Because the balance is still subject to interest, paying only the minimum amount will result in a higher interest payment for the year. Only do this if you are truly experiencing cash flow difficulties. Otherwise, it makes no sense to have funds and not repay more than the minimum amount. This is due to the fact that even if your cash is in a savings account, the interest earned on savings accounts is often smaller than the interest earned on credit cards. Number 20. Excellent sense of proportion. This is the amount of money you owe to your credit card company. Number 21. Due date. This is the day by which you are required to make at least your minimum monthly installment payment. Failure to meet this deadline will result in the imposition of penalties. Thus, it is critical that you be informed of your repayment due dates in order to prevent these penalties being imposed. After reading this article, I hope you have gained a better understanding of several crucial credit card words. You should feel more confident while reading your credit card statement as well as your terms and conditions. Please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel.